Okay.
Ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, ba.
Bump. It's a wrap.
That's right. Yes. We're wrapping up the festivities, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. We're still in Quartzsite. Tonight is our last campfire, honey.
It's kind of sad.
It is.
Because we've had a great time.
Up.
It's been fantastic. It
Hasn't
really
it
has.
been?
There have been so many fantastic people here. Oh my gosh. And I'm going to say it. No drama that I'm aware of. Thank
no drama
goodness.
Here, not at this camp. There's been drama at other camps.
I don't do drama, and there was none. Isn't that wonderful?
I know.
And so many different activities. I think everyone had a great time in participating in what we did.
I know.
Like what?
Well, the coolest thing was the bus tour. You took everybody on a tour.
That's just because it ended up at a bar.
A 3-hour tour.
It was actually, wasn't it?
I know.
Oh.
So, yeah, we all ended up at the Ocotillo Lodge. That's when, it was like, then we got stuck there because I did call previously to let everybody know. We got 21 people coming. And they go, well, I go, can you accommodate us? And I said, well, as long as you're patient.
And they did. It took a little time, but there was one bartender, one cook. So, I mean, they did the very best they could, and it was fine. We just had to be patient. That's all.
Like their menu is only like a few sandwiches, like 5 sandwiches, 5 for sandwich, and then they've got the hors d'oeuvres like breaded shrimp. No, not breaded shrimp. Breaded mushrooms, breaded cheese curds. There seems to be a shortage of onion rings. Like we just thought, why don't they just slice some onions and bread them?
Since she was giggling when she said what there was a shortage of, and I happened to know what it was, not that I understood what she was saying when she was giggling. There is a shortage in downtown Baus of onion rings. We've been to the Ocotillo Lodge 3 times now.
We go
over the course of the last month.
More than that, honey.
Well, maybe so. But every time we ask for onion rings, and
they got them yet?
No, they don't.
There's a shortage, honey, of onion rings. They've all gone south.
Yeah, this is serious.
They've migrated south.
This
onion
is serious. That's for sure. Yeah.
But we had so much fun, and we went to see the. What did they call that? What's the name of that?
As far as I know, they just call it the Quartzsite city name in rocks. It's a rock formation where the Q of Quartzsite, for instance, is, what do you think, 5-6 feet tall?
Yeah.
And then all of the letters that follow that are also 5 or 6 feet tall. And what it's doing is directing aircraft way back in the 40s and 50s when they were practicing bombing runs. The Quartzsite sign, if you will, made out of rock. It's huge. I mean, that thing must be 50 feet long, maybe?
Yeah.
If that,
because Quartzsite's kind of a big word.
It is. And then at the bottom of that, in case the budding new pilots get kind of disoriented on their bombing run training, they have a big circle with an N inside of it and an arrow pointing to due north. So if they get all mixed up, they can look at that and say, oh, that's north. Okay, I have to go to the Marine base in Yuma. Well, I guess there weren't Marines at that time. Maybe there were. I'm not sure. Anyway, the Air Force wasn't founded until 1947. That's because I remember that because I was founded in 1947, if you will.
Is that why you joined the Air Force?
No, but that's a good point.
Okay.
Yeah, good point. But anyway, so those are just kind of cool, and they've got it fenced off to try to preserve it, which is really nice.
And it's been preserved.
It has.
Yeah.
It has.
And it's really beautiful out there because there's a lot of land out there and a lot of mountains and a lot of nice cactus, but it's for day use only.
Yeah.
Although it looked like a couple people were there for the duration, but
maybe even more than a couple.
I know, but that was our first stop. And our second stop was, because he was a tour guide, go ahead and give them the tour.
Well, that was at the Bows Fisherman Intaglio.
Okay.
And as I understand it, an intaglio is a picture made out of rocks. And what the Bows Fisherman Intaglio is a huge, I want to say 20-foot tall stick human, if you will, probably a Native American, and he is holding a spear, and it's pointed down to an area that shows like water with waves and a fish underneath the waves, and it's either he is, as tradition has it, he is either creating the Colorado River, which may be a little far-fetched, or he's just fishing for that fish at the end of his spear.
Right.
But then above his shoulder is a cloud made out of rocks, different colored rocks, different sizes and what have you. And over his other shoulder is the sun. So it's very difficult to make it up.
Because it's starting to kind of fall apart a little bit, or it's dissipating, I would say. Is that the right word? It's not totally clear anymore.
Right.
Time has damaged it.
If I had a drone, or if someone had a drone and we got up above this thing, it would have been,
because it's big,
much easier to show it, but no one did. So,
but we had to walk in a little ways, and there were a few people with walking sticks, and Lynn was here. She was with a cane. And there were a couple of them that said, "Oh, I just can't go in that far." It wasn't that far, but it was a little bit of a jaunt.
There were a couple of small hills
to get
go
to
over.
it. Yeah, so that was fun.
Yeah.
Then we went to this area. We all got a group picture. It's like this. It's like a Bouse rest stop, and there's just machines, like an old machine. There's an old water tower, like from Petticoat Junction, or everybody said that looks like Petticoat Junction, and a little train with a thing on. Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
And then we went to the Acotillo Lodge. Now that was a good hour, John. At one point, the cook came out, and she looked like she was like, woo. I think her eyes were going, woo. 21 orders, and of course they were all separate orders, which may have actually made it a little easier for her than just one long thing. That would have been, yeah. So separate orders were good. And then after that, everybody came back. So then the next activity we did yesterday, we've done in between, but we wanted to go with I'll let you know about the big ones. We did a van crawl, or a van walk, or a van hop. But we thought that would, I forget who suggested it, but they said, well, let's just do like where we all meet and we just go from van to van, or rig to rig. And just poke in. It's not going to take long, 5 minutes per van. And everybody would be there, and we'd all poke in if you wanted to say something about it. And then we decided, let's have some little snacks or something.
She just wants to be petted.
At
moose
the last-
bouge, with a little something,
Go look at my van.
What did you offer?
Go check it out. Go look at it.
Candy.
Me too. We had candy. We had chocolate.
But Charity, who was the last van there, that was planned. She knew. She volunteered. I mean, she had all kinds of snacks and this and the other, and
she had a regular bar going on.
And a regular bar too.
Yeah.
So it was very, very nice. And
who got the award for good food though? In a way, that was Cindy again.
Oh, Cindy!
Oh my gosh, she had little sausages with dips. Although Cherish, we didn't get to Cherish yet when I gave her that award. Cherish had a lot of different foods, cheeses and stuff. So her and Cindy tied. Oh yeah. That was really good. And some just had chips and
Now,
so we had a good time.
Something that I didn't go on was the hike that was organized by Max.
Right.
So you did go on that. Why don't you tell them what that was all about?
Well, he did a hike previously, but I didn't go on that. But they couldn't find it. There was this wall that was made. It starts out, the wall is big, and then it probably comes to like here, and then it curves around, and it goes, to down. And he said just a bunch of hippies. This kind of famous. A bunch of hippies went out there and made these like like structures made out of rock piled on top of each other, and they've been there a while. They haven't fallen.
And it's only what 3/4 of a mile.
It wasn't too far, and then we all took on the way there. We took the group picture with the monster. Yeah, and it's on Google. Google has it tagged. The monster, historical monster, something.
Saguaro.
Yeah. And so we went on that. That was a lot of fun. So we did that.
Oh my God.
Saguaro.
Yeah.
And so we went on that. That was a lot of fun. So we did that. And then, at the campfire, we played some games.
Yes, we did.
Max started out with the chicken games. He had bought these chickens.
We all had a rubber chicken.
We all had a rubber chicken, and it was truth or lies. And then, of course, I came up with, fortunately and unfortunately, we just did story round. Well, fortunately, the pizza man came, but unfortunately, the monkey ate it all that was in his van. Fortunately, and so we just went around. So that was fun too.
Absolutely.
Then we had show and tell.
Oh yeah,
I know.
we were each supposed to bring something that we thought was very unique and cool from our own rig, something we wouldn't want to live without. Yeah. And we found a lot of things that I felt were very interesting.
That we could carry. We didn't want to drag anything, out. But they were little things that were important to us, or we thought maybe somebody might find them fascinating. And we did. There were some cool things.
There were.
Yeah. My favorite was Glenna's when she brought out, it was a USB fire starter. And with for candles that you could bend, it was bendable, so you could go in. Yeah.
And was there a flame on the end of that thing? Or was it just a wire? What do you call that?
I don't know.
Anyway, it was very cool.
That was cool. So there were some cool things.
Yeah.
And I just so everybody know, I got a sunburn today. Yeah.
Today it is about 72 degrees. It's the winds are at about 15 miles an hour, which is not uncommon for the desert, but it's still enough, at least for me, to kind of aggravate me after a while. Yeah. Because everything is blowing and
my chair blew over there. It's I wouldn't. I went for a later walk because we on Sunday the refuse station opens up and we wanted to get rid of our garbage. And Abby's out there barking. Somebody's walking. And then we went out for breakfast and a coffee. By the time we got back, I had to get my walk in. I shouldn't have. And I had sunscreen on too.
Did you? Okay.
I know.
All right. The sun was strong today.
It was.
I'm happy to say that winter is about over in the desert, I think. Yeah. Because we're supposed to be in the 70s and even reaching 80 over the course of the next week or two. So, yay.
It'll get cold again. A couple more times.
You think?
I kind of hope so. Well, I like what's coming up. 40 to 70. I like that.
Yeah, that's true.
That's perfect.
When it's in the 30s, that's a little much.
I can't get up in the morning and get going, and then I got to take my walk when I'm getting burned.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Next, let's talk about the campfires themselves. The campfires.
Okay.
First, we had, as we were adding on people, we had to extend out our camp, the camp ring. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course we still made the same size of wood, so it was like this big ring and this little campfire in there.
And if you were really cold after an hour out there at the fire, you could simply step inside the stones of the ring and get really close to the fire. Or if you wanted to roast a marshmallow, a few people did that.
Yeah.
So it worked fine. But if we hadn't done that, I mean, what did we have? One night we had, what was the most people we had? Like 25?
I think we've had like 25 people, and that's a little difficult to get around if you don't have the ring big enough. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And we didn't want to have people in row 2 at the campfire ring. That wouldn't have been fair to them. They wouldn't have felt any fire at all. So yeah, we did that and it worked out fine.
One thing I did find interesting, and I'm not a huge campfire lover, I like them and everything, but one thing I did find was that if you leave your chair out all day and then, but you don't come back to the campfire. People think there's somebody there, and it's hard to get close
That's
to
true.
people.
Yep.
So that was something that we did. What we did, if you left your chair out there, we started it. We moved it to by the wood. That way, when you come, then you could pick it up and take it. Because people were like seated 1, 2, 3, and then there were these empty chairs. Somebody sitting there. Well, they wanted to get close to people.
Why,
So
sure.
yeah, so that was just something that I learned. I'm sure y'all, if you're big with campfires and having big groups, you already know that, but we aren't.
Yeah.
And because last year we just had Joe and Jack and Max, and so we could cozy in, but
Right.
having a big group, it's really different. And then what else about doing the fire? You used a lot of different methods to get it started, didn't you?
Well, depending on the wind and what was left over from the previous fire, I thought if there was wood left over, I might make a lean-to, and if there wasn't, I might make a teepee shaped fire start and go from there.
Right.
So,
But I mean, people brought different things. Myung left these one disc. What were those?
those were candles or candle wax.
Candle wax.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then Melanie brought these toilet paper with something in it.
Lint.
Yeah. And then I had the fire starters that I make with the milkshake straws and with the Vaseline.
But I
cotton
must
balls.
say that the juniper wood that we bought in town, and that a lot of people pitched in and bought wood, that juniper has kind of a hairy, what would you call it? The bark.
Yeah.
It just kind of peels off, and it makes wonderful fire starter. So it really, long as I had some of that available, there was no problem starting a fire.
Human behavior in a campfire. During
Well,
a campfire.
isn't that determined if people want to get up and walk around? Generally, that's because they see someone across the campfire ring that they want to talk to.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Or maybe they're tired of talking to the person next to them.
Well, maybe so.
Because it's really luck of the draw and who sits next to you.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Because you don't want to say, "Oh, I'm saving the spot." You don't want to say that.
Right.
So yeah, I found myself getting up a lot and kind of walking behind people.
Schmoozing.
At one point, it was almost people would say, "Duck, duck, goose." Remember that game, Duck, duck, goose?
No.
Oh, we all knew it. Okay, what school did you go to?
That was after my time.
Okay, Duck, duck, goose, and then but some people really just sat in there and they just sat at the fire. I mean, in their chair, and they didn't move all night long.
Yeah.
You moved a lot because you were the poker.
Right.
Oh, let's talk about pokers.
Well, we had one poker that was actually a part of a saguaro tree. We didn't rip it off the cactus.
Somebody gave
believe
it
me.
to us. I know.
Someone gave it to us, but it's very porous, it burned quickly.
Yeah.
So what started, let me just go way out there, came down to about 18 inches.
Right.
And if the fire is really going well, an 18-inch fire stick is not good for the fire keeper.
No.
Me.
And we weren't really that into campfires yet. That we should have a poker with us that we travel with, but we didn't have one. And yeah.
Well, fortunately, Charity has...
Cherish.
I'm sorry.
Cherish is a word I use to describe.
Anyway, Cherish, I think she said her grandfather took a golf club, cut the head off of the club off.
Abby's loose.
I got a God. What the hell? Where in the world were we?
I don't know, but we got Abby back. There she is.
Here she is
There's
now.
Abby. Woo,
Hi, Ab.
Okay, so we were talking about pokers.
Oh, yes.
Well, I will tell you that we're not too far from where you and I and Max and Joe and Jack were, right? And Myung and Mary and yeah. I was walking past. I was checking out the saguaro that was there, and we're moving here, and our old poker was in there. that we made.
The
So
good old
we're going
poker.
to keep that poker.
It's partially wood and partially metal, so
Yeah.
it doesn't burn down. That's wonderful.
I know it's metal, and then it had the thumb, and we poked in a stick into it, a round a dowel.
Yeah, because Cherish is leaving tomorrow, and she needs to take her customized poker golf club, if you will,
Yeah.
back with her. So
Well, another thing we found out too is we wanted to burn boxes or cardboard. A lot of people had stuff. And of course, the boxes that the wood came in, you can only have so many boxes, right? Well, we found out that if you burn them at night while you got the campfire going, it just throws stuff all over the place.
big pieces of
Right.
burnt cardboard.
So, yeah, right. So we got up in the morning and we burned those. When we wanted to burn those, we burned them in the morning.
Yeah.
And a lot of you people who doing campfires, you already know this, and so we're just learning.
Yeah.
We're vulnerable. We let you know when we learn new things, maybe, but it might help somebody else who
Right.
doesn't know it either.
Right.
So that's with the campfires, and you had a good time.
I did. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed it very much. Tonight will be the last one, as we said, and it's going to be a little melancholy because everything's breaking up tomorrow, essentially. A couple of people are going to, they said they want to stay here and be here along with us, and that's great. But the vast majority are going to be leaving tomorrow.
Right. But I will say that when Paul wanted to go to bed early so we can get some sleep, we felt, it's a good idea also, some of you already know it, to pass the poker to somebody, because when everybody goes, the last one has to break up the fire so it doesn't just keep burning, move the wood from each other if there's still wood pieces there.
Yeah.
And kind of. But we're out in the desert and we're far away. It's not like a lot of brush. So that's okay.
Right. Well, let's talk about Lee's leapfrog. What in the world is that?
I know. I want to tell you about it. Well, first of all, the Facebook group. Minivan Lee's, this Nomad Life Facebook group. When it started getting a few months before the meetup, Deb, who came out here, hey Deb, love you girl, and she started this thread. It said, and she named it Lee's Leapfrog. She goes, if we're coming from the east, put your name down, where you're coming from, and we can all meet and leap to each other from the east as we go, pick up people, and then run a caravan out here.
Deb came from Baltimore, Maryland, for crying out loud.
And Monica came from, I don't know where in Virginia, but from Virginia.
Yeah.
Now, Deb did tell me that there were like 4 or 5 different people who were going to do it. But one by one, they fell off. They said, well, we thought we could do it, but we couldn't come.
Right.
There were a lot of people who said they could come, but then they said, something happened, they couldn't. Well, it turned out to be Deb and Monica came.
Yeah.
And they met somewhere in Virginia, and they traveled out here together. It took them like 3-4 days to get
Yeah,
here.
I think they had a ball. That she said
They
they
did.
stopped in Nashville, I believe, and stopped at other places. She came with an Oklahoma ball cap hat on, so they went through Oklahoma, of course. I think they traveled I-40 most of the way until they dropped down somewhere onto I-10. So.
Isn't that wonderful? So it worked. We were all laughing, going, oh, that's cool, Lee's Leapfrog. Well, it did work. And so kudos to you, Deb, and kudos to you, Monica. Love you guys.
Yeah.
And we really had a good time with you guys.
You bet.
Yeah. So that worked out. So moral of the story is that you can get help and have great ideas, and we share them on the Facebook group.
Right.
It's a success. That's a success story.
And I think I approved 4 or 5 people to join the group just today.
Yeah.
I'm one of the moderators, and so I'm notified if someone says, hey, we'd like to join your group. So I think people are starting to see that, hey, this is a pretty good group of people.
It is, and it's growing large.
Yeah.
It's moving towards 3,000.
It is a fantastic
I mean,
group
some
of
people are just there to look and listen, but there are a handful, and more than a handful, who post often. Well, one of them's myself and you, but I wouldn't want us to do a shout out to Cindy, especially. What do you think of her van tour? Wasn't that great? And then the wig out, oh my gosh. She posted a lot of good photos.
She sure did.
Because I was without cell service a lot. I really was.
Yeah.
And so, and then of course being so busy that she really kept it up.
She sure
She
did.
really did. It was
All
really
the
great.
tours that we went on and
Yeah.
campfire
Yeah.
photos and what have you, and hikes. She did a great job
She
of
really
keeping
did.
everyone
Thanks,
informed.
Cindy. Thanks, Deb. Thanks, Monica. Yeah. Thanks, Max. He's the one that got some of the games going. Joe was instrumental in making sure that everybody got greeted. If we weren't here, if we were in town doing something, probably trying to upload videos if we were gone. And yeah. And a special shout out to Jackie. I'm going to do a shout out at the end to everybody, so hold on. But especially to Jackie, her and Max were like greeters extraordinaire.
That's for
They
sure.
really-
Well, what about the big tent that everybody talks about in this
the
town?
big tent.
It's a
Ooh,
big deal, and it's a
big
big
tent,
tent, that's for
yes.
sure. We did go to the big tent,
We
made
did.
our tour, and I think maybe Lee has a little bit of footage to show of the big tent and what goes on in
I'm
there.
going to show all the dogs that I saw there because they were the most interesting things at the big tent.
Now, wait a minute.
Okay, there were more.
You did purchase a
Nice.
potato
Yes.
vegetable slicer, dicer, julienner.
Right.
Oh,
I know.
Yeah.
And I'm using it a lot. I will demonstrate it. I haven't had time to do a video on it because I wanted to get as much footage as I could of van tours and things like that.
Sure.
But we will get to that later. But this guy was amazing, as you can see. And but also I really want to say I really did enjoy that one silk lined. It was a comforter and a pillow cover that was lined with silk, strands and strands and strands, like roping of silk.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot about it. I'm not going to tell you about it too much now, but that was pretty cool.
It was.
It really was.
And pretty expensive.
Yeah, it was expensive, but it looked really nice. It was good for summer and winter and everything. So, yeah, you see a lot of dogs. I filmed every dog I could find.
Yes, you did.
I know
Yes,
it.
you did. And
So-
they're very interesting dogs, too.
Yes, they are.
Well, I want to say something about our podcast.
Okay, go for it.
We've done some interviews over the last few weeks. We only publish the podcast once a week on Friday, but we've done some great interviews. We've interviewed some folks that are with us here. So we encourage you to tune in on your favorite podcast app,
Well, actually, I did look up number one podcast is Apple.
Okay.
A lot of people are listening to our podcast on Apple. Number two is
Spotify.
And Spotify's free. You just can't, if you're not a member, you can't download it, but you can listen to music and everything on Spotify.
Right.
Spotify has everything in there.
Yeah.
And then next would be, I forget what the next one is, but there's Downcast, Pocket Cast, Google Cast, Google Podcast, Radio Public, not Public Radio, but Radio Public. What is some more? I know there's a few other ones. Just look for us. But if you can't find us, just go to Spotify. Download it on your phone. It doesn't, if you're not going to download anything, it doesn't take that much storage to download it. And of course, if you have iPhone, you automatically have Apple Podcasts.
And if you are friends of either of us on the Facebook or a member of Minivan Lee's Facebook group, you'll see a notice every Friday, and that notice will include a link to the podcast. So
Now, I usually do one that's an Apple link, and then the other one is a Spotify link. Which one do you do?
I
Anchor?
always-
Because Anchor's our host. Do you do Anchor?
no, I always do Spotify.
Right. Well, I actually try to do, sometimes on Saturday, I will include an Apple link.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, we're going strong. We're just pumping them out.
Yeah.
And we're just getting better and better at it.
Yeah.
But practice
fun.
makes perfect, doesn't it?
Right.
Yeah, and they're good episodes. Good topic, good episodes, good information.
I sure think
Yeah,
so.
right. And then we also want to, Now, I didn't have very many books here. And people wanted me to autograph their books. I either brought them or I had a couple extras, so I autographed them and gave them to them. There was all kinds of buzz around the campfire about how much my list helped them. And I'm not just trying to sell the book. They really did say that.
In the back of every chapter, whether it be about safety items, help me out. I have the book and I've read it, but it's been a while ago.
Body stuff, bedroom stuff, kitchen, kitchen things. Things you just need for the road and.
But at the end of every chapter, there is a list, a check-off list for you to go through and say, okay, I have that, I need that, I have that, I have that, I need that. And it's indispensable to have that list. It is so helpful.
Now, if you do get the ebook at the end of the chapter, what I do is, because you can do links, I put in links of any videos that coincided with that. Yeah.
Very good.
And I've got so many other ones. I was just thinking, wow, I probably need to put in edition 2, maybe, with some new links and put in a new edition. Yeah.
Well, speaking of links,
okay.
What about your Amazon links?
Right, Amazon links. Excuse me. Okay, Amazon links. I can't express how much those help me. They really do. They help me almost as much as watching the video. When you go through my link, whether it be my storefront or the links that are in the video description, and you go through, it's like going through a door, and you buy something after going through that link, which is like a door, and you put it in your cart, and you buy it within 24 hours, because if you just let it sit there, it doesn't work. And you buy it within the 24 hours, or you buy it right away, I get a little something, something. And I'll tell you, it does add up.
And it doesn't cost you a thing.
Right. Now, here's another scenario. Let's say you go through my link and you see something else down there like, well, I don't want this cooler. I want that 12-volt cooler. Guess what? You went through the link. Even if you didn't buy that particular item, I still get a little something, something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I just want to do a reminder that those links are so important to me. And it really just does help me out. And why would you want to help me out? Well, I put a lot of time into this, and I won't go into that because I love to do it. But it is like working, and it's like you kind of get paid a little something, something.
Yeah.
And I'm not begging, but Social Security ain't all that great, So, yeah, I mean, it just really helps me out. If you love to help me out, wow. You don't have to. Yeah. But it is pretty cool, yeah. Well, we got some shout-outs to do, don't we?
So what was your grand total? We sat around and tried to figure out, okay, let's make a list of names. Everybody that attended the meetup, whether they were here for 1 day or 10 days or longer. And we came up, was it 52 people?
Could be 54.
Okay.
I know.
All right.
Because I think I realized the girl's name that I didn't know. Christy.
Okay.
Does that sound familiar? She had blonde hair. She's a twin. She came with Marg and Lisa and Deb. I think it's Christy. If it's not your name, you're a twin. You know who you are. You can leave in comments. I know, but even if I got your name wrong, which I'm sorry, we still remembered you. And then the very end, we remembered Darlene. Darlene, you were like, your van wasn't a van, but it was sort of like a Jeep kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it was outfitted like out of Africa. That's what she was going for. There was those colors, and so we did remember you. So we're going to do you first then. And let's see. Let me get, because we need the list for this. I can't remember all this. So, we got Judith, number 1, because she was here, and she's the one that got hurt by Abby. Abby kind of drug her, and she had to go back.
No.
I miss you, Judith. And we still text each other almost every day. I just texted her again. She sent me something. Thank you, Judith. And then we have Deb and Monica, leapfrogs. We have Jean, She's from Mississippi. She left. She texted me. It was in New Mexico this morning. We have Cherish. We cherish you. You know we do. And then we have Deborah. And she's going to stay a little while with us, she said. We have Lynn. We have Tammy. We have Glenna. And we have Teresa. Glenna, love you, girl. Pam and Kevin, you guys have been great. I think they might actually be staying a little bit too.
I do. I agree.
And Lincoln, got to say hi to little Lincoln. She loves colors, so we're best friends because I do too. We have Susie. Joe. Hey, Joe. When I said it, it wrote it as J-O-E. I'm going, who's Joe? Well, Joe. Hobo Joe. We have Max. Oh, love you, Max. And Myung. And then we have Cindy and Sharon and Renee and Maddie. Then we had these two were, they're not, I don't think they were in the group, but they came to meet us and stayed a couple days. Cindy and Glenda, hey. And then we had another Deb. We had Chris. Oh, Deb. RV Services Deb and Chris, her boyfriend, yes. We have Lisa. Then with them, there was CK and Dave, yes. Mary, oh my gosh. We're going to be, oh yeah. I love you, Mary. We had Madonna here, didn't we?
We did.
We did. We had Madonna. Hey, Madonna. Girlfriend, I love this. I know you're watching. You know I love this. You know what I like.
I like that too.
I know. And then we had Ron. He came a little later. He's cool. And we have Melanie. You know Melanie too.
I do.
I know.
So I didn't forget her name, that's
I know.
for sure.
And we had Cheryl. Oh, yeah. Elaine, travel grandma. We had Karen. She was cool. And, of course, Rhonda. Oh, my gosh, Rhonda. And love you, girl. And then she brought Annie. And you're going to see Annie. It's her a professional name is Ann Sperry. You'll see her bus next.
A schoolie.
I know. Oh, here's Mark. So I don't know who Maddie is. Maddie. Oh, dear. Renee. And I don't know. Okay, they may have messed that up. And Jackie. Personality Plus, Jackie. She had to leave early, but... And then Mark. Hey, Mark. I know you're watching this. He looked just like William Devane. He spent a day with us.
He really did.
He really did.
Yep.
And he talked just like him. He was from Long Island, New York, yeah. And then we had Gary and Tom. Hey, Gary. Hey, Tom. JJ. Hey, JJ. He loved the girls. Stacy. A salute. And I know her cousin was Chit. That was her name. Chit. I'm sorry, but it was. C-H-I-T. Carmen, you are cool. One cool girl. She brought Brian with her. And then Connie. Can't forget Connie. She was cool. She was with us for a while. And then last I got to meet finally, and I'm going to do a shout out because they came to our camp and hung out, was Jean and John. Yes. It's a long list.
A lot of people.
I know. From beginning to end, because a lot of people came kind of early, and we were happy because, let's just mention it, we got to do it, was the Montana group. It looked like a Montana
I think
dealership.
It was a convention.
It was, but it looked, everybody said, wasn't it Mark that said, it looks like a dealership over there? And it
well,
did.
he asked, where's the sales office?
I know, exactly. And then we had some Class A's that were over here, and, they just kind of came close, and I don't know why they needed to do that. But they did, and because they've been here for 12 years.
That's right. It's only because they've been here for 12 years, parking in the same spot.
Yes.
And it's a very small desert, as you know, and you can hardly get the same spot every year.
Because
sorry, folks, I'm whining a little bit, but...
Somebody on the other side came and they put that, and you didn't tell them to leave, you just said, just letting you know that we're going to be having a meetup. They said, I swear to God, they said the same thing. The 12 is made. They said, we've been coming here for 12 years. We always park in this spot. And where's our camp? Where's our camp ring? Well, we took it to build Camp Fuego.
Yeah.
I know. Oh, oops.
So anyway, we encourage
Right.
people, like, was it a week before the actual
We
meetup
put up our
started?
coordinates because they're moving in on us. People come here and park kind of out, you know.
Yeah, to try to save the space. And it worked.
Now, a lot of... Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, a lot of people ask me, why did I park so far away from you and that? I was trying to spread out. But now I'm parked real close to my tent. I'll show you that at some point. I'll show you that, what I've got going on. So, yeah, we got that. We have to wind up with what?
What? Oh, the wind. The wind.
The wind.
It took a minute, but
It was a blustery day. Yeah.
It's not a fond memory, I'll tell you. But last Wednesday, woo! It gusted to what, 57-mile-an-hour gust? I think was the highest one I saw.
Well, that sounds like a fish story. I don't remember that one.
Well, I thought that was directly from our
Oh.
anemometer carrying Max.
Yeah, Max is out there with his
Anemometer?
anemometer.
I believe is what it's
But
called.
we were rocking and rolling.
Oh.
Well, from the skinny that I got from everybody overate that day. They snacked out all day, including me. And I got 4 bins cleaned out. I edited 2 major videos. And, yeah, that was my day. And
Even though we had to stay inside, I think most
everybody
people,
had to stay inside their rigs.
whether you read a book or cleaned your van or whatever, invited a friend over if they could walk over there halfway decently through the wind.
Yeah.
Everybody had as good a time as could be expected, and those winds can be expected out here in the desert. We only had 1 day of the wind, so I'm very happy about that.
Now, we did have to, and I'll show you just little snippets of it. We had to readjust the next day, our actual tent. We did have to readjust it. Well, it's a good thing we checked on it because one of the screw stakes, it had come out in the back corner. Had we not checked that, it could have lifted up.
No.
Air got up and lifted them all
Instead
up.
of regular stakes, we use huge lag screws
Yeah.
with a head on the top, so I can use my electric or cordless drill to battery operated cordless drill to get them in and out, and I love it. I love it, love it, love it.
Yeah. And so the next day, what we did, and it was putting a strain on the spring bar where where it attaches to the T-bar. What if you have one, you'll know. But
So the spring bar attaches to the T-bar, and the T-bar attaches to the...
I know.
Never mind.
I know, the bowls. So we laid it back down. We moved it, the tent. We moved it a little bit over so we could have different holes,
Right,
to re-drill it. And we re-drill it down. And
The only lasting effect that we have found, finally, I think it was yesterday, Lee said, Paul, we need to do something about this zipper. The zipper will hardly move. Well, you know what that was? It's all this really fine dust that is all over this desert floor that had blown all over everywhere on Wednesday during the wind event. So I got online and said, what's the best thing to get a zipper going? And I'm sure some of you will tell me better things, but I used a Dixon Ticonderoga basic everyday #2 wooden pencil.
now we did say it was the best pencil in the world.
It is.
That's why I bought it.
Been
That
around
was a big
forever. Look, I spent my whole career in office products. I know my pencils. I'll tell you what. But anyway, you just rub that graphite on there, and I was amazed at the difference. Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Oh, they move wonderfully, and it's because they were all full of gunk from all that wind.
Yeah.
So all is well.
All is well. We made it, and there'll be more winds before we leave again.
Oh,
There'll
yeah.
be more. There'll be more. And the only thing we can do is hunker down. So it's a wrap. We're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna and this is a year for me. January 1st might have been a normal year, but this is my year. I'm wrapping up this year. I really am. My videos started. My channel really got off on a good run February 11th. And so this is my wrap up of this year. So we're gonna start a whole new year. That's why we mentioned the podcast. We're going to have some really good episodes coming up. Yeah. We've got some ideas for good videos for the channel. We're just going to keep improving, and we're just going to keep entertaining you and keeping you informed and entertained. Keep you laughing and looking toward the future.
Absolutely.
I know 2022 is going to be a really great year.
Yeah.
We just really love you guys, and we've met some of you, and next year, who knows? There could be Meetup version 2. Could be.
That hasn't been decided yet, right?
Right, not decided, but
it just might happen.
I know. So thanks for watching this whole year, everybody. We love you.
Take care,
Bye.
folks.
Please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. You know those.
Oh, she got me again.
Those stickers. Yeah, those stickers.
Yeah. Don't muss my hair. Come on.
So cute, isn't he?
Bye, folks.
Love you.
Thanks for tuning in.
Are we going to do this again? Yeah.